3, 2, 1. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? Cheers.
Fucking cheers. Good to see you.
You too.
Glad
Thank
we
you
could
for
finally do this. Oh yeah. So we were talking about a couple things earlier. Yeah, no, I pride myself on sitting down with people that I only really give a fuck about.
Thank you.
Well, no, but then like case in point is not the person that we were talking about, but somebody else that I'm not gonna talk shit about publicly, but because they don't deserve it, I don't think. Well, they might, who knows? But no, I had somebody booked, and due to scheduling errors, I had to reschedule. And I was like, hey, like this came up. Can we do this at a different time? We fit at a different time. Okay, great. And then this individual decided to make a couple of choice decisions, comedy wise. And I was like, but being unprofessional, let's put it that way. I don't give a fuck what people say on stage.
Yeah.
It was being very unprofessional that affected me in certain ways. And I was like, oh, yeah, I no longer want to speak to you.
Oh fuck.
I just don't want to. Like I can't be fake, dude.
Yeah.
Like especially in a setting like this. Like I think because there's being social and there's being amicable.
Yeah.
In a social setting where it's like I don't really know these people, I don't really care about these people. I'm gonna act like I give a shit because like I'm here and whatever. And that's part of being a human. But when it's something so isolated like this,
Yeah. For sure.
you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna do that to myself. I'm not gonna do that to somebody else.
Yeah.
It's just gonna read as bullshit.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
I mean, it's rough, right? Especially because, like, you know, I feel like you can relate to this a lot too. In a group setting, you can just kind of like chill out back, let people talk to each other, and then you can be amicable, right?
Yeah.
And you also want to be like really easy to work with too.
Yeah.
But like if you're just having a conversation one-on-one with someone,
Yeah.
and like it's not going to be an A-B conversation, it's going to be mostly A, and then you're just going to be listening to the whole time.
Yeah.
You know it's going to be like a fucking shit show.
Yeah. When that's a setting that is reserved for only the closest people in your life. Because I got barely enough time to give a shit about what I have going on. Let alone my close friends, and now just some random okay, no. Go to a doctor. I don't care.
Yeah. Get therapy.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's yeah, I probably, and then there's a second thing that you just brought up before I hit record that I wanted to touch on, and my brain is just completely fucking spacing right now.
It's that Miller Lite, dude.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Right.
Going hard.
Going hard as fuck on a Saturday on a 2 p.m. Fuck. Okay. Well, so you have just started doing stand-up again, correct? Okay. How long have you done it in total?
All right. So I started in 2015 in
Okay.
Puerto Rico, and I would have to drive 2 hours to an open mic.
You could drive a raft? That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. We were in a canoe. It was my mom who was pedaling in the back because I was busy writing jokes.
He has to get to his open mic.
Yeah. So she was super supportive. And, what I did is actually I got a group of friends together. We would just drive there, and they just went to see me do an open mic. So I have very supportive friends since the start.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And yeah, I know. It's insane. And then I started doing stand-up in 2015, actually.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the amazing people over at Chop Chili Company. Guys, they are the original sponsor of this podcast, and I could not be happier to continue to be working with these guys. I get it. It's New Mexico. Everyone loves red, green, both. But this genuinely is my favorite brand of chili here in the state of New Mexico, and I love being able to partner up with these guys. They are absolutely phenomenal. Zane and the rest of the team at Chop Chili do an amazing job running that company, and they make an absolutely phenomenal product. And right now, they are running a very special promotional on their Instagram. Go check them out on Instagram. Go give them a follow. And as they post pictures with the hashtag Where's My Chili Challenge, if you can guess where in New Mexico that picture was taken, you can win not only free red or green chili, but also a free custom t-shirt directly from the company themselves. Again, go check them out on Instagram, give them a follow, check out their hashtag Where's My Chili Challenge. Win yourself some free chili, win yourself some free shirts. They are also available in Smith's, Albertsons, Sprouts, and a ton of other grocery stores in the state of New Mexico as well as El Paso, and they are expanding out to West Texas. Again, thank you so much to Zane and the rest of his amazing team over at Chop Chili. Back to the episode. Bring the mic a little closer to you.
Oh,
and you can fuck around with that boom arm, dude. Like,
right.
it'll feel finicky. Like, it'll feel like it's going to break on you, but it's not going to.
Better?
Oh, that's perfect.
Awesome. Yeah. So I started doing stand-up right after an MMA show that I was announcing. And it was like the day after. It was a comedy competition show. And out of I think 10 comics, I was in third place. And that was my first time ever performing it. So I was kind of like, okay, cool. I have a thing going on here. But I knew that there was just a window, just a little bit of I knew I had a lot of limits in Puerto Rico because comedy in Puerto Rico wasn't really a thing back then.
Yeah.
So only way you can actually get gigs is if you go to San Juan, which was all the way on the other side of the island that I was living in. And so I was just kind of well, shit. So I was just doing it as a hobby, just for fun, and as it should be, it's fun. But then when I found the opportunity to move to Colorado, I was like, cool, let me really start doing it because there's so many opportunities there. So I started doing open mics there at the Voodoo Comedy Lounge. Now it's called Rise.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that place.
Yeah. And it was really fun. I met one of my closest friends. His name is Gary Miller. And then when we moved down to Albuquerque, because my wife is an actor, there's more opportunities in New Mexico compared to Colorado. Because in Denver, there's a lot of commercial work. And here, at least you can do shows and at least do a small part in a movie and then build up that resume before going to a big city. So
I want to stop you right there. Yeah, that Netflix expansion that's going on is fucking crazy.
Yeah, and a lot of people from LA are actually moving down here too for that reason.
Yep.
Because first of all, it's way cheaper to live here, but all the opportunities are here. But the thing is that you have to go to LA first.
What? I disagree with that.
I feel like that.
I disagree. Now, granted, this is coming from a guy in his late 20s who has been doing stand-up for a year, has doing a podcast for 4 years. I'm so close to giving up. It's astounding.
Are you really?
I will live on green chili and weed because those are my two sponsors. Yeah, so we'll see. And I'll live in my truck because it's paid off.
Yeah.
Who knows? No, but seriously, it's becoming okay. So, for instance, we were talking about him, and he's going to be on my show tonight. Zach Abeda.
Yeah.
So me and him had this conversation on the podcast, and we had a little bit afterwards too. And because for a little bit, I was like, I'm going to Austin. I'm not February of 2024. I'm going to Austin. I'm going to live there. I'm going to live in Austin. And he was like, well, maybe you shouldn't do that. And we were talking about it, and the long story short of it is you need to, as a performer, it is in your best interest, especially if you live somewhere like Albuquerque, if you're born and raised in a place like this, build your audience here, build your reputation here, get all of those reps in. That's you need to do something for 10,000 hours where you're actually very proficient at it.
Mm-hmm.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the amazing people over at High Desert Relief, a premier herbal destination right here in the state of New Mexico. They have extremely well-trained and knowledgeable staff that are more than happy to help you find what you're looking for or try something that you maybe have never thought of before. They have 2 locations right here in Albuquerque and a 3rd in Santa Fe. All 3 will be listed in the description of this episode below. All 3 locations offering legendary products at absolutely legendary prices, including this awesome merch that they were so kind enough to give me. They can be found at all 3 of the locations. Again, big thank you to all the people over at HDR. Back to the episode. Get those repetitions in here so that when you build your following and you build your skills and you have your toolbox and you're able to go out and do things, you're on the road a little bit, then you can decide where you want to move. Do you want to go to Colorado? Do you want to go to Phoenix? Do you want to go to Austin? LA? LA's dying. California for the first time since the first time since like the fucking conquistadors or some shit, there are more people leaving California than there are going in.
Yeah.
So LA's dying. New York entertainment is staying alive because of Broadway and stand-up. Mm-hmm. And even then, Broadway is a super niche thing too.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to then you can decide where you want to move to if you choose to. But then I was thinking about that more on my own. I was like, well, but Albuquerque's kind of in a good spot because it's growing. It's going to take a few years, but things are growing, opportunities are coming. But geographically speaking, we're right in the middle of 3 major comedy cities. Mm-hmm. LA's not that far away for a flight. Obviously, going to the East Coast is a bit of a bitch. But, I mean, Austin's the new comedy capital of the world. It's turning into that.
Yeah.
Colorado will always be infamous for having comedy. They have some of the best clubs in the world, and some people will say the best clubs in the world in Colorado.
Yeah.
In Denver. And then Phoenix is always going to be there. Phoenix and Tempe. Like, I mean, the Tempe Improv. Like, that's becoming synonymous in the same conversations like the Comedy Store. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's I'm not convinced you have to go to LA. And on the acting side of things, with Netflix, have you seen that facility?
Absolutely. But I was saying
it's incredible.
For acting though. Yeah. In order to get bigger roles here in New Mexico, you have to go to LA.
Really?
Yeah, because it's the same way with like New York film. You like even if you can get a good film, like a good part in a movie in Maine, because that's where they mostly like film over there. You can't live in Maine to get those parts. It's really dumb. What they do is that you have to get your auditions over there, and then you go to New Mexico.
That's interesting because because a buddy of mine, Jaron, shout out to Jaron from Side Montero, he landed a pretty big role in Resball, in a Netflix movie.
Damn.
And that's coming out in September.
That's pretty cool.
And then he's filming, I think they finished filming actually, but they just filmed season 1 of Ransom Canyon.
Oh, that's cool.
So
that's awesome.
And he never had to leave. Now, granted,
it's one of those.
Maybe it's one of those things because he's Native American. He claimed the Native American thing on the reservation. I don't know if that's a thing.
Yeah, probably because
who knows?
Also one of the bigger casting directors is Native too. Yeah. So like when it comes to like, you know, like her daughter was actually in that Predator movie.
She was the casting director for both of those projects that he was in.
Yeah, so it's
and the chick that was in Prey is in the Ransom Canyon thing.
Exactly. So and it's also like a huge networking thing too.
Yeah.
Like acting is really just a networking art.
Yeah. Well, you also have to be skilled.
In some cases, or very good looking.
You don't. Yes, but you don't want to be that guy that's like in any situation. Yeah. You want to be that guy that you think you have a silver tongue, or you think that you're good at networking. And then you come off as phony, and then people are like, oh, well, let's see him do stand-up. Oh, let's see him act. What's he like? And then he sucks, or she sucks, and it's like, fuck. Yeah. This guy just wants clout. Oh, shit. That's crazy.
But I do agree with the whole following thing when it comes to stand-up, because especially in the age of the internet, like, you can make it anywhere, I feel like, just as long as you're in a good place.
It's easier now.
Yeah, it's way easier now.
Still a challenge.
Yeah.
But it's easier now because of the access. Well, because I feel like because podcasting right now, not podcasting, stand up is in this like huge. It's as popular as it's ever been. So many people are trying it. Ticket sales for stand up shows are up like 350% or some shit like that. It's crazy. It's a bubble, but it's gonna pop. I think it's gonna pop eventually, and it's going to come back down to normal. I give it 5 to 8 years. Mm-hmm. It pops, goes back down to normal, which isn't bad. It's just trends, right? Yeah. And I think that there won't be as many people doing stand-up at that point. But even then, that won't make it easier. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's always going to be a challenging thing.
Just the art itself is hard.
Yeah. Well, dude, I ate a fucking dick last night at Dry Heat.
Oh, really?
I ate dude, I got my shit kicked in. It was not good.
Was it your closer, or is it just the whole thing?
Dude, so I was thinking about it, and I was talking with my chick, and I was just like, what the fuck happened? Because she watched it. Okay. She's seen me do stand-up a lot. She watched that, and I was like, fuck, that was so bad. And I'm not going to say who I followed, but they did worse than me. So bad that I tuned them out and put my headphones in. And I got told how bad they did. I took my headphones out about a minute before their set was done. So I was preparing to go up on stage, and the comics in the back were like, "Fuck, what is going on?" And it was bad. It was very bad, very bad. So then I go up, and I do my set, and I intentionally, and I'm very thankful to Sarah she put me on last minute, because I hit her up, I was like, "Hey, can I get 5 minutes?" And she very graciously gave me a normal 8-minute set. I was like, "Hey, can I get a set? I'm trying to work out some new stuff for my show on Saturday, and then I'm trying to get a tape together." She's like, "Yeah, sure." And the bulk of I only plan on doing 5 minutes, so my first 5 minutes were all political shit.
Oh my God.
And they did not want it. And I was just too stubborn. And, well, because I opened up, and by the time this podcast comes out, the Trump assassination thing will be, old news, unfortunately, but my opening line, and it did okay. It didn't get like a pop like I wanted it to, but it did okay. My opening line was Trump got shot in the ear. He got an Albuquerque piercing in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And it got like a little bit of a giggle, like a ha ha ha. So I was like, okay.
Yeah. That's clever.
Okay, I think I can work with this. And I got stony baloney last night afterwards, and I was rewatching the tape, and I was like, okay, yeah, this crowd clearly didn't want political stuff. They wanted more silly stuff, more like traditional comedy type stuff, not topical humor, because all of the beats that I have in that political bit I was doing, the only ones that were getting laughs were like traditional like haha humor stuff. And I was like, fuck, I should have picked up on that in the moment, but then I tried a new joke that I have about Shrek, and that fucking fell flat on its face. And then I just went back to my bread and butter that I know, and that did okay.
Okay.
But I was just like, fuck, that was... I got off, and I was like, oh, God, I felt bad. And God bless him, Jake Otero. He was in the back running tech, and he texted me. He goes, dude, that fucking Shrek bit's actually really funny. Fuck these people. Yeah. And I was like, no, don't tell me that right now. I don't believe you. I'm not going to believe you. Don't fucking say that right now.
Well, he's going to be honest with you, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I wasn't, because even the girl that I was with, she was like, she was trying to say, it was a weird crowd, like this fucked up and this went bad. Like, yeah, you didn't do great, but you didn't do as bad as you thought. Like, no, and I was like, you're very nice, but I know how bad I did, because I wouldn't feel this way.
I know. I hate that feeling, bro. I hate that feeling.
Well, because then I was... my point that I was getting to, though, is I was watching the tape. So the person before... The reason I brought them up was the person before me. I don't want to out this person because they're nice, but this was just not good. The person that went before me, very left humor. Very politically left... alphabet crowd humor.
Yeah.
Very
alphabet.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
That is their humor.
Yeah.
I walk on stage and I look the way that I do and I start talking shit politically.
Looking like straight out of an NR.
Yeah. Yeah. So no matter how much shit I talk about Trump,
yeah,
I look like a Trump guy.
Yeah. They're going to be like, I don't believe you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, right? Exactly. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
So I'm watching the video, and so what had happened, and like I said, my chick had outlined this to me when we had gone back to the house. It was like, this person came up very left, like audience perspective, very left. I went up very right. You know who followed both of us?
Who?
Jared fucking Ostrom. He walks up there, and he's got a bandage on his ear, and basically lampoons both of us.
Jesus.
And runs it right down the middle. Like, just runs it right down the middle. He might as well have ran a 99-yard touchdown on that fucking crowd. Because he's got that personality you just want to laugh at. He's just a very jolly guy. But he walks up there, just starts talking shit. People are already laughing because of the bandage on his ear. And he's just talking shit. I did my Christian stuff, and he started making Jesus jokes and just this, that, and the other. And I was like, fuck, man. That is a guy that understands the crowd. Yep. And it understands his what audience. The crowd wants to hear. And he's also very good on stage. And I was just looking, I was like, I need to get out of my own way and stop being so fucking stubborn. Because real issue.
And it's, first of all, shout out to every one of the Ship Boys, because I feel like all of them are so talented. They're really funny. I feel like they're really funny. All of them. But I do think like when I got back on, I did focus more on my material than being present at the moment. And I feel like that's something that Jared mastered, is that. Like, he took from your bit, the bit from the other comic, and he was just enjoying the moment and just was kind of like relating to the crowd.
Yeah.
And that's a skill. And I feel
Yes.
like that heckle mic that you and AJ do is a perfect way to practice that.
Yeah, and I'm considering. I agree, and that's part of the reason. I mean, the other reason I'm doing this, I wanted to put on my own show, but I'm considering maybe not for this one, but for the next one, just not even having somebody open up front and just extending the sets altogether. But I don't know how that works. I do think there should still be like standard comedy in front of the show. You know what I mean? Just so they can get a taste of, like, not get a taste, but they can understand, like, okay, this is how a set normally goes, and now you get to heckle, like, after for the other people. And then also, like, and this isn't a slight to anybody who runs shows in the city, but the reason why I have that up front is because I'm putting on people in that slot that I don't think get enough love.
Yeah.
That I think have been working too hard and not getting enough. That's why I put Trip on there. That's why I put Jared on there. And that's why so I'm just like, why the fuck aren't these people performing more in the city? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because I know they're able to. Because I asked them, and they said yes. I've asked Jared twice, and he said yes both times. He just couldn't do it the first time.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So that's why I have that slot there. But I'm hoping that's what it turns into, man. Like, because that show's based off a thing in Austin called Banana Phone. And they hold it on Sunday nights. It's a free show at the Creek in the Cave. And it is at like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night until 1 in the morning.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and and the crowd is like, they've been doing it for about a year. It's like half comedians, half audience members. Like, I was standing in the back with my buddy that I met out there, and he was like, look, man, so like that table right there, there are comics. Like, everybody else in here, there's regular people. And like, the first guy goes up on stage, and they get 60 seconds. They ring the cowbell to start heckling and shit, right? They ring the cowbell. And the way they do it out there is they go like, so if you went up there, ring the cowbell, and I wanted to like, hey, Gian, you're a blah, whatever. So, I think the guy's name was Michael or something, or Mike. Guy goes up, he's doing a set. They ring the cowbell. From the back right in the room, you just hear, hey, Michael, you're a faggot. and it just derails the whole
Oh, my God.
and people just, like, pile on it.
Jesus Christ. That's funny.
So
dude.
that's like I know Albuquerque culturally is not going to turn into something like that for a long time.
Yeah.
Right. It's just unless you like that would maybe work in, like, if we were able to take this show and grow it, because I think this show would do great at Revel.
Yeah. Absolutely.
In the little room in Revel, I think that'd be a lot of fun, and maybe you could do that there and get away with it.
Yeah.
People feel comfortable to do that because it's not as well lit. You can't really see a whole lot.
Yeah.
But in Safe House, they basically got fluorescent lights in there.
Yeah.
So, but did you because you were like, I don't mean to like out you or anything, but you were like a little nervous.
Absolutely.
Going into that. So how did you feel about it as you were doing it? Because you did the show last month, and you did pretty well.
Thank you. What's funny was that, right? Because, like, okay, a regular comedy set, you already know your set list. You already know what's going to happen. You know what works. You're trying out some new things, and you're like, but you can always come back from it, right? I had an 8-minute set prepared.
Yeah.
And I knew for a fact, looking at the set list, I was like, I'm not touching any of these jokes tonight. Like, I have a feeling. And it was like that gut feeling. And I was like, I hope I'm not first because I want to see other comics do it. And when Jake and Tyler were like, can we go first so we can do the dry heat show? I was like, oh, thank God. Yeah, I was like, fuck. So when I saw how they were doing, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, just have fun. Do crowd work out there. So, but I was still a little bit nervous. But as soon as I got up, I didn't even had that minute to myself because Bhakti already heckled.
Yeah.
And and it was so funny that I was just like, let me just roll with it. And this is me all the time. I always get more nervous before the show.
Yeah.
than actually being on stage. On stage, I'm relaxed. But, like, before I get, like, that gut feeling and I'm nervous, I'm like, fuck, like, I'm going to bomb. I'm going to forget everything. And then when I get on, I'm like, this is great. Just enjoy the ride.
See, I make sure to pee before every set. And then right before I'm about to go, I'm like, I have to pee again. What the fuck is going on?
Me too.
Why do I have to pee? I was in the Army for 6 fucking years. Every weekend, I had to do a piss test. I can never pee on time. But magically going on stage, I have to piss my pants all this. Like, what the fuck?
Dude, I don't know. And I'm like, God bless dry heat, dude, because if you hear a door open all the fucking time, it's me going to the bathroom from the green room all the time. Because I'm always nervous before a show, but, like, on stage, it's just relax.
Yeah, but that first one we did, I wanted to kick it off with a bang, so I was like, okay, obviously I'm getting Steph and Buck. That's not even a question. Like, if they say yes, I will, like, that is who I want. And I don't know, dude, like, I'm glad you had a good time. Were you the one that when you went up and, like, the bell, or we did the ding, 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 you were like, who wants it? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, no.
Yeah, and it was just like, just fuck it, just have fun out there.
No, that was a lot of fun, man. I'm hoping this one goes well. I was up way too late last night, and so I slept in this morning, and I woke up to a text from AJ, and he goes, "Are you ready?" And I'm like, "I guess." And he goes, "Hey, I guess there's a thing called Summerfest," and he goes, "Nob Hill Summerfest is tonight," and I was like, "Oh fuck." Well, I hope that doesn't take away from the crowd. Shit, but
what is Summerfest?
I have no idea. I know my buddies performed at Summerfest last year.
Okay,
but yeah, I'm not sure. It's like this little festival they do down there where they have like live music and shit like that. But I'm not entirely sure of what all of that encompasses. But anyway,
I don't think it should.
I hope it'll be a fun time.
Yeah.
I want to obviously I want to do more things that'll justify the sponsors keeping me on, but I want to do like just more stuff in the comedy scene here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like do more shit, and then like just figure out ways to get more reps in.
Yeah, and things that are focused like that heckle mic, like that focus on different aspects of comedy helps all the comedians too, because like not like there's a lot of comedians that don't know how to do crowd work, or they don't know like every aspect on what they can really work on because they don't think about it because they're writing in their own style, and it does take them out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, and that's why I like that. Like that, you talking about the Shit Boys earlier. That Caleb did his roast battle. That was a lot of fun. That was I fucking embarrassed myself up top. But it is what it is.
That was so much fun though too, because it was strategy too.
Yeah.
Because I gave my best joke to AJ, and then when I went against that person won. I was like, "Fuck! What did I give
Who did you go against?
So the first time I went against Black Mike and I won.
Okay.
Like I was shocked because I was just like, Black Mike's gonna rip me a new one.
Yeah.
I love Black Mike. And then I gave AJ my joke against June. It was my best joke. And it was the Wendy's joke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then when he lost, I was like, fuck.
Yeah, I felt bad, dude, because I like I even like last night, I bombed last night, but I didn't forget my jokes. I got one look at Dave right in the eyes, and I like forgot everything. And I was like, no. So that's why like whenever they're doing the breaks in between rounds, I was like going right to the team, and I was like, I have these jokes. Please fucking use them. They're good. Like these are good fucking jokes.
Look at all of them. I wrote them all for you guys.
I was saying like, I wrote these bitches for me, but I couldn't get to fucking use them. Like, I had some gnarly shit.
Yeah.
And then poor AJ, because then I basically wrote against him I guess he did too, because he's on the opposite team.
Yeah.
But I was writing against him for 2 months before that other roast battle happened.
Fuck, dude. Friends like you needs enemies, bro.
Yeah, I'm excited for the next one. The next one's on the... are you going to do one of those roast battles?
If they offer, for sure.
You should, dude. You should hit up Evan Evan Rons. He's the guy that produces them on Instagram.
Okay.
Just hit him up on Instagram. Hey, man, I'm a comic. I want to do the roast battles. I mean, they let some fucking random dude, physics thug, whatever the fuck, to go up there, and then dumbass decided to no-call, no-show to it, so I'm sure they'll let you go. Yeah, you heard about that, right?
No.
About Charm fucking no-call, no-showing to the...
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, dude. It was in real time.
Fuck, dude.
Like, I mean, the long story short of this isn't talking shit. This is exactly what happened. So I'd gone up. Me and AJ went up. And then we get off the stage. And Buck announced... He goes on stage. And he brings up this guy named Physics Thug. Nobody knows who the fuck he is. I was like, all right, whatever. He goes, just some stock white guy. Balding, whatever. Like mid-30s. And then he announces Charm Baxter. And there's dead silence. And I'm standing in the back with Pierce, AJ, and their girlfriends, and I'm like it clicks for me. I'm like, oh, she didn't show up, and they both look like, no, come on, like, no, she didn't. And as I'm saying, she didn't show up. Buck goes, she's not fucking here. Oh shit! So then, like, Buck, he's a good sport. He fucking like takes the spot so that he could like say his jokes against him, or like what they would have been for Charm and shit. Like, they try to do something with this. So the guy doesn't waste all of his time, which is very nice of them. They don't got to do that. But as they go to the judges, go to the judges panel. The judges are Zach, Sarah, and Evan, the producer. So it gets to Evan, and he whips out his phone. And when I say this in real time, he goes, yeah, I just got a message on Instagram from Charm 5 minutes ago saying, sorry, I can't make it. And the entire audience is like, boo!
Oh, my God, dude. Oh, man.
So I'm standing back there. I'm like, oh, my God. What is going on?
Oh, dude.
Like, what is this? So
I hate that. Oh,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah. It was, so anyway, my point is that you should hit up Evan for the next one. It's going to be on August 30th. That's what he told me, at least.
Okay.
I don't know if that gets pushed back or not, because that first one was it it was in June. So August kind of makes sense. But yeah, it'll be in August.
Okay. I'm down.
They're a lot of fun, dude.
Yeah, what I liked about that team roast battle is that it really forced me to write and just like really figure something out, and it just like it really pushed me on the writing aspect.
How often do you write?
I write like 3 times a week, and like because like I'm always working. If I'm not working, then I'm trying to perfect and sharpen up my old jokes. And so really I write every day, but it's like to write something new is like 3 times a week.
I was going to say, when do you like actually sit down and work on something?
I'll sit down every morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
No shit. For how long?
For an hour.
Good for you.
Thanks, man. I'm doing this now for the right reasons. You know what I mean?
You're doing what?
Comedy.
Okay, what are the right reasons?
For me, like, it's just more of like back then when I did comedy, I was just doing it for like a validation thing, if you know what I mean. And now, because my first love was always writing, that I didn't look at it as I'm a writer performing my writing in front of an audience. So I'm doing it for the art of it, like for the craft, instead of doing it for my validation.
Yeah, I get what you mean. That's I was having this conversation last night with a comedian. Like stand up is such a low return investment. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It is such a low return investment, especially up front. And not just speaking money wise, but because, not everybody is fucking Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
You don't start out and you're immediately funny. You know what I mean? You have to work over years and years and years. And if you don't thoroughly enjoy, because like 90% of it is not being on stage.
Yep.
And the 10% of it, it's like any other like performative thing, right? It's like 90% of it is not in front of a camera. It's not on game day. It's not during a show. It's what are you doing when nobody's watching, that type of shit, right? It's like, are you actually writing? Are you going to open mics? I guess people are watching open mics, but you get what I mean, right?
Yeah.
You have to have like, I mean, there's self-discipline to like get yourself out of bed and take care of yourself and go to work, pay your bills, that type of shit. Like there's the sustainment part of life, but then to get anything more out of it, there's a lot more self-discipline that comes out of it.
And there's other aspects too, like are you researching more? Are you reading more? Are you educating yourself more about the craft too? Or are you taking time for yourself to actually live life, which is a big aspect of it, so you can get that material later too.
Yeah. No, for sure. That's one of my favorite. I actually have that. That's funny you say that. I have that written down. It's a Tony Hinchcliffe quote. You have to write a lot, but you have to live a life worth writing about.
Exactly. And my favorite quote was actually from Chris Stefano, because he was talking about you have to focus more on the output than the outcome.
Yeah.
Because you can't control the outcome, but you can control the output. And I love that quote because it's like, if you're not working that hard, then there's nothing you can really be disappointed about. I feel that. Because I feel like... I
agree with that.
I agree with it.
Are you kidding me? Like, okay, let's say you work your ass off and it just, whatever you're working towards just doesn't work out. Of course you're going to be upset with that.
Yeah, but you just got to focus on the output, dude.
Okay, yes, but you... Okay, so, you understand what I'm saying. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop.
Just, I headlined once, dude, and it's like it's all uphill from here, you know? Okay.
Yeah, you're right. It is all uphill. That's the whole point. You made my point for me. Because it's like, yeah, no. Like, because it'll happen where you put a lot of work in and things work out for you. Mm-hmm. That happens. That happens to people.
It's the American dream.
All the time. Yeah, no, that happens. But it also happens where you put a lot of work into something. Let's say it is genuine hard work.
Yeah.
And it just, at least in that moment, it doesn't work out. Maybe something else happens a week later, a month, whatever. But in that moment, it did not work out the way you wanted it to. You're allowed to be upset about that.
For sure. Watch me get shot as soon as I get out of this house.
Shut the fuck up. I live here, bitch. Nobody in Albuquerque shoots once. I like my house having 0 bullet holes, bitch. You know what's crazy, bro? Okay, because of where I live, it's like right next to the freeway, right? So if you keep going down Coors and you get to where Coors becomes Old Coors, right? And then you go down Central, like down in those neighborhoods, that's where I used to live until February of this year. And it's just fucking hilarious living down there off of Gonzales in the fucking ghetto as shit, and then seeing all the seeing all the nonsense that goes over there, and then moving here where it's like it's not a lot better, but it's a bit better.
Yeah.
And just seeing that night and day difference like a 10-minute drive can make. Like what?
It's so weird here, dude.
I hate it.
When I lived in Albuquerque, I lived in Albuquerque for 3 years, and dude, it would be loud as fuck at night. You know, like gunshots, people just revving their engines and all that.
People
right?
don't understand that that's like a real thing.
Yeah.
Like, I tell people that, and they don't believe me. That like, if you go to sleep in most parts of Albuquerque, you will go to sleep to gunshots.
Yeah. It's like living in Puerto Rico. It's like legit the same thing. And it's funny because my wife is from Colorado, right? So, you know, many nights in Albuquerque, she's like, "Did you hear that?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it. Just go back to sleep. Like, we're not messing with anyone." Like, that's my mindset, right?
Yeah.
So when we moved to Santa Fe, bro, it was so quiet at night. And I'm like, something's not right here. Like, someone's up to no good here.
You put on a white noise maker, but it's just gunshots and Hellcat engines.
Yeah, dude, my wife is like, "Just go back to bed. Everything is safe here."
Dude, you need to turn that into a bit. That's funny. That's funny. Well, because I had a... Okay, talking about old jokes. I used to have a joke, and I want to bring it back. 'Cause I think it's funny, and maybe I just didn't have the skill to say it properly or to deliver it properly. But basically, the joke that I had was apparently... Because I read this article where like a lot of people who leave from New York put on these like either YouTube videos or white noise makers where it's like city sounds, like sounds of New York specifically, so they can fall asleep living somewhere normal.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So then with carrying that logic over, do retired Oompa Loompas have recordings of like the screams of dying children so that
That's good.
so that they can fall asleep when they leave the factory?
I love that. It has to be a timing thing because that's brilliant.
Because there's something
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
There's something there, and every time I told it, it would get like a couple of chuckles or a couple of whatever, and I'd get done like, wait, but I feel like, because it's like, you ever play a video game where you go into a world or you go into an area that's way higher level than you are,
Yeah,
and you just get smoked? I feel like that joke is the higher level than I am right now. And I'm like, there's something there. I just don't know what to do with it.
you just gotta keep performing it with different timing.
Yeah. I haven't thought about that joke in a while.
That's a good one though. You should.
I always
bring it
like
back.
that one.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't know if I did that. I know I did that at 377. I don't think I ever did that at Dry Heat. Dry Heat would love that joke, actually.
Absolutely.
Now that I think about it.
Or Santa Fe.
Bunch of fucking, yeah.
Yeah.
Bunch of fucking Oompa Loompas.
Jake and I cancel you. Like, that's not funny.
Bunch of colored hair fucks. I don't know. I love those places. Anyway, Santa Fe was fun, dude. Mm-hmm. Santa Fe is interesting. Because I had went up to Santa Fe that first time that you and I really sat down for the first time at that open mic.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember I went up there and did that, and I had done, like, I opened up just like kind of talking shit about Santa Fe, and I remember they really liked that. I was like, for being a pompous city, you guys like getting shit talked.
The comedy scene doesn't reflect the city, in my opinion.
In what way?
Because, like, you think of, like, a pompous, very left city, which is Santa Fe. But then when you go do, like, an open mic there or a show, they're very welcoming on everything. Like, you can talk shit about the city.
I don't know. There was one gay dude in a fedora that fucking hated me.
Was that from the last show?
Yeah.
Really?
He hated me, bro. It took me, like, I did, TJ, very graciously of him, he let me do 15 minutes.
He wasn't the gay dude in the fedora? I love TJ.
He let me do 15 minutes, and I could not get that fucking guy to laugh for like the first 8 minutes. And I was just looking at him, and I was like, "Are you not gonna fucking laugh at any of this? What is going? I'm making fun of Trump and Biden, bro. Like, and because everyone else is having a good time and laughing, but yeah, it's interesting. Well, maybe it's just because like people that go to comedy shows in general, I think they go into it with an understanding of I should probably have an open mind. So maybe that's why.
Probably too, yeah. And it's also like a lot of people that were there that night were my friends too. So it's like, dude, being in jiu-jitsu, you have friends that are both right and left, so they're going to laugh at everything.
Oh, for sure.
So they have like a huge mutual understanding of what it is.
How long have you been doing martial arts for?
Since I was 14 years old, so I started in 2000, I think maybe 2008.
Damn.
Yeah.
What'd you start with originally?
Kung Fu.
Kung Fu.
I am a black belt in Kung Fu.
No, the fuck you're not.
Yes, I am.
You're a black belt in Kung Fu?
I am a black belt in Kung Fu.
That is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
No disrespect, but that's like playing a video game where you max out one of the most useless stats, and you're like, there's going to be one moment in life where I need this.
Yeah.
I'm going to cast this one set of spells, and it's going to save my life. That is Kung Fu.
It's the philosophy major of all martial arts.
What made you start with Kung Fu?
My parents forced me.
They forced you into Kung Fu?
Yeah, they did.
Was this in Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I was a troublemaker as a kid, and my school was offering Kung Fu classes, my middle school. And it was being taught by my biology teacher and my Spanish teacher. So my parents were like, you need the discipline, we're signing you up. I was like, I'm not fucking going. And they're like, we're signing you up. I was like, well, I'm not going to show up. But then I got in trouble for not showing up because it is part of the school's program.
Right.
And so I was like, fuck it, let me just join then. And then later on, dude, I just loved it because I was just like, I get to punch my classmates in the fucking face. Yeah, because they'll make us spar in the cafeteria.
That is the most Puerto Rican
Yeah,
shit. Have you talked about this on stage?
No, I will. I'm writing about it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So dude, and like my biology teacher, he's one of my closest friends now because he was my sensei. But like, he was this albino dude who used to get bullied, and then the Spanish teacher is actually his wife. So they were a couple that taught me kung fu.
He's a bullied white dude that's like, fuck this, I'm getting a Latina.
Yeah, exactly. He won. So, he won in life.
Yeah.
So then later on, dude, I got promoted really quick. But I just had this fascination with MMA. Like, my kung fu teachers were the one that gave me a DVD of UFC 1 and 2. So I was like, oh, that's really fucking dope.
And there were no rules back then.
No, dude, they would get punched in the crotch and you lose by knockout.
Yeah.
So then I got really into it, and then my grandmother actually bought me a DVD. It was Tito Ortiz versus Patrick Cote, the main event. And for some reason, I loved Patrick Cote's like kickboxing style and Tito Ortiz's wrestling. But when I saw that, I was just like, I really want to do jiu-jitsu. Bro, there was nowhere to fucking do jiu-jitsu back then in Puerto Rico.
Right.
So I just continued doing kung fu until I found an MMA gym when I was 19, and then I got into MMA. And
because what did you move to Colorado?
2017.
Oh shit! So super recent.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm straight off the boat, dude.
So did you start doing jiu-jitsu in Puerto Rico at that MMA gym?
Yeah, and
Okay.
then a jiu-jitsu school opened up, and then I decided to sign up there, and then my MMA coach got really pissed because I wanted to do both, right? Because the MMA gym was more kickboxing focused. So he kicked me out of the team and made all the fighters like talk shit about me on social. It was so weird, dude. Because it was like a Christian MMA gym, and that was something I couldn't really relate to because I grew up as a Christian. Like, I was in a Christian private school. So, like, I was just like, fuck this,
Yeah.
you know? And I just didn't agree with their philosophy at the gym either. So, when I got kicked out, I was like, good. So, I started doing jiu-jitsu, and it was this guy from New York. His name is Mike Pastor. And he was a student of... he went to Marcelo Garcia's school a lot. He also he was under this black belt in Cleveland, Ohio. I forgot his name, but he trained, I think, Kat Zingano. And so I was learning a lot from him, got my blue belt there. And then from there, I did a little bit of jiu-jitsu in Colorado, but then I went to 10th Planet here in Albuquerque, and I got my purple belt.
Nice.
So I love jiu-jitsu, the aspect of like the strategy and the community. But dude, my back hurts.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to do jiu-jitsu back in end of 2020 going into 21, and I looked at the pricing for all the schools around. I was like, oh fuck, that's pretty expensive, paying all my own bills, and this and the other side, all right, whatever. And then I had fucking hernia surgery last summer.
Oh fuck, dude.
Yeah, I had hernia surgery last summer.
Was that from lifting?
Yeah, I'm assuming so. Yeah, I'm assuming so. I got very lucky where I had it wasn't like a traditional hernia. It was like an umbilical hernia. So it was right above the belly button. But you know how so for people who don't know what a fucking hernia is, basically it's where your abdominal wall tears, and then in the pocket that gets torn, your intestines like push through the pocket and fill it, and it's literally grabbing that part of your intestines, and you're supposed to be in a fuck ton of pain.
Oh, dude.
But I got very lucky where my hernia abdominal wall tore, but the hernia, that hole got filled with fat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I would feel like discomfort every now and again, like when I was lifting and stuff like that, but I didn't know what it was. I was like, all right, whatever, I'll just move on. Fucking, just deal with it later. Whatever.
Yeah.
So, but then I'm doing a bodybuilding competition, and I'm fucking shredding weight like crazy, and my chick looks at my stomach when I was posing, and she was like, what's that? And I was like, well, I don't know. And she like looks at it, and she like pushes it in. And she goes, yo, you need to have this. That's not normal. You should have that looked at. And I was like, yes. So it takes me 2 years, but I finally get it looked at. Or like a year. And I get it looked, I got it looked at a year later. And they were like, oh yeah, dude, that's a hernia. You should not be, what's fucking wrong with you? And I was like, sorry. So then, long story short, I had to go through with the hernia surgery, and they had to put like the mesh in and fucking all that stuff.
That sounds rough.
Yo, dude, it fucking sucked. Dude, taking it, dude, you have like. So I had like read and like heard about how like you're not supposed to push when you take a shit.
Yeah.
You're supposed to like let the rectal muscles do their thing. You're supposed to basically you're basically like, how do I put this? Like, when you need to take a shit, don't take a shit when you feel it. Take a shit when you're about to explode. That's basically what I've been reading. Cause that's like because that's like your body's warning system of like, hey, it's time to go, dude. And you go and you're supposed to just let it shit out of you.
Damn.
You're not supposed to just sit there and be like, and that's what I would do sometimes.
Yeah.
But of course, after surgery, you can't fucking do that.
Oh,
so I literally would be like sitting on the couch waiting till the 11th hour in the 59th minute. And it's like, all right, it's time. And I literally, like, I had to, how did I sit? Because I had this big, like, because one of my major incisions was the bottom right part of my abdomen. So I had, like, just big bruising there. So, like, when I would shit, I'd have to sit kind of back, but then lean a little to the left, like this.
Yeah.
And just kind of, like, let it happen. Dude, it was so bad.
Fuck, dude.
Dude, it was
rough.
It was horrible. But now I'm kind of like getting my strength back. I'm lifting heavier. My stamina's shot still, but I'm getting back to lifting heavier, shit like that.
Are you lifting at Legion Iron?
But yeah,
cool.
Yeah, and but you know, I would like to find time to do like martial arts because I used to box a little bit, but I'd like to like jiu-jitsu. But I am terrified of just getting stretched out the wrong way and that fucking mesh tears.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, fuck, here we go.
If you go to a good jiu-jitsu school and you let them know, you'll be paired up with like the right people.
With the weaklings.
No, with actually like the black belts and the purple. Dude,
right.
The white belts are the most dangerous people.
Oh, right.
At
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu schools.
I'm just talking shit. But yeah, the new guys are the most dangerous because they
spaz.
They're either too scared or they freak out or they go hard as fuck because they're angry.
Yep.
And then you see like the purple belts and the black belts and they're just tying them up like a fucking present. Yeah. Like, hey, listen, man, you don't have to do this.
They would always pair me up with the new guy and it doesn't matter how big they are because they're like, we want them to know like how this works.
Yeah.
And so I was like 120 pounds.
So you're there to make a point.
Yeah, I was there to humble people with my little purple rash guard, like, hello, take off my glasses, and then just fucking murder them. And then I'm like, do you want to sign up?
That's funny, man. What kept you doing martial arts? Was it keeping you? Was the aspect that it gave you something to do? It was keeping you out of trouble, taking your mind off things. Like, what really kept you in it?
Well, like a stereotypical comedian, I struggled with depression, and so in order to avoid, just being in a really bad rut, I couldn't afford therapy. Jiu-jitsu was cheaper, and then, it was at the point that I got a little bit too obsessive. I became like a dry drunk with it. And dude, I was taking time away from my wife and I was just mostly like at the gym, like all the time. And I was working at the gym doing sales and I was coaching as well. And at the point where my wife was just like, hey, I want to move up to Santa Fe, I was like, why? Like, we have everything here. I didn't really take her feelings into consideration because she was not in her element. So it really kind of made me think like, oh, fuck, like maybe this life isn't as healthy as I thought it was. So when I got the corporate job, and I did start a gym with a couple of guys too up in Santa Fe, which kind of got me kicked out of the whole 10 Planet team. It really put things in perspective, like what's important for me, and what's important for me is my family. And then I could afford therapy at that time, and I went to therapy. Actually, my therapist was actually at that comedy show last Saturday, because he's not my therapist anymore. But
let's see how well I have done with this.
Yeah, he did great.
First 10 minutes on stage. So I tried to kill myself last night. It's like, oh no.
He's like, let me call him. No, but It was more of like I was avoiding my problems.
Yeah. Well, anything anything done outside of moderation can turn into an issue.
Exactly.
That's anything. Because there are healthy obsessions, but when you have stuff like a family, when you have a wife,
Those things.
But when you have a wife and you have responsibilities, like it's like you have made that commitment also, so you have to
Yeah.
I feel like that is always going to be, and I don't mean to sound sexist when I say this, but I feel like that is always going to be a eternal struggle at some level between men and women, where it's like, because most guys want to go out and conquer something on their own. They want to set out to do something, and you inevitably meet other guys doing the same thing, and then you team up and you fight the dragon or whatever. You know what I mean? Whether that's jiu-jitsu, whether that's stand-up, whether that's joining the military, starting your own business, getting into finance, like whatever it is. Guys have that in them. And inherently, that's going to take away from your personal life. So it's finding the right person that's okay with that.
Yep.
But then striking the right balance between how do I water both of these plants so that both of them don't die on me.
Exactly.
I think that's always going to be a struggle, though.
It is, and that's just the challenge of life in general.
Because we're wired. I really do believe we're wired that way.
We are, and it's that game of balance. Like, how can you balance life out?
Yeah.
And because, I barely spent time with my wife this week working, and then she was working. I had lunch with her this morning, and then I'm like, I'm going to be in Albuquerque all day. And she's totally fine with it. Like, she's very supportive because she's doing her own thing, too. But it's like, I have to, just as long as I'm staying conscious of what I'm doing, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But I do know I'm going to have to spend time with her all day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just to balance things out.
And it's not one of those things like, well, I have to.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I want to, but it's like, I recognize this is the right thing to do also.
Yes, exactly.
I think that's a good way to boil it down. It's like, I think a lot of guys, and this is how my brain works, a lot of guys boil things down to tasks they have to get done.
Yeah.
And women don't enjoy feeling like a task.
Yeah.
They want to feel like a person, which is understandable. But they need to understand that, like, you being a task in my head does not make you not a person.
Yeah, it's just plants that you like to water.
Yeah.
But sometimes you forget to water the plants. Hey, you don't want that flower to die,
Yeah. Do you still do like pro wrestling and shit like that?
Maybe.
Okay. Because when did you start doing that?
It was in my last few months of living in Albuquerque.
Okay.
It was just something I've always wanted to fucking do, bro. Like, I will never be starstruck with a celebrity, right? And I don't think I would ever get starstruck with a comedian either. But if, like, CM Punk was to walk into this room, I would get starstruck.
Yeah.
I love pro wrestling. That was my my first love.
If any guy between the ages of 25 and 40 is honest with themselves right now, they loved pro wrestling growing up.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you didn't love pro wrestling growing up, that's because your family brainwashed you into hating it.
Yeah. And they're wrong.
Yeah. Because it's so, like, I'm not a huge fan. Like, I enjoy it, but I'm not like a fanatic about it. But I understand it. It's ridiculous. Like, what's the... I heard somebody call it one time a redneck anime.
It is.
And I totally get it.
And it's fucking hard, dude. It's fucking hard. That's probably the hardest thing I've ever done.
Is pro wrestling. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you're flipping and you're flying and you're flipping over other dudes and you're landing on your back, trying not to hit your head. And you just... Fuck that.
But, dude... all the things I learned in pro wrestling helped me so much in comedy. Like, the traveling aspect, the writing for promos, merchandise, which I need to get on top of. I really shit on myself.
The fuck was your merch?
No. So I was the submission Sicario, Kilo Gente. Yeah. And I was really inspired by, like, Razor Ramon, Bret Hart, because I wanted to implement my jiu-jitsu, but I also wanted to implement, like, I'm from the Caribbean. So it was just like that aspect of being on the road, understanding how to not spend money on the road and how to make how to not depend on bookers for money. So I learned a lot from this guy named Gino Rivera, who was the Puerto Rican Pitbull. He still calls himself the Puerto Rican Pitbull. And that man is like, he is from Hawaii. He started in pro wrestling in LA, but that guy taught me so much that even I will implement it while I'm on the road doing comedy. Because like when I went up to Denver to do some comedy, I was just like, what would Gino do? So because he was just such a pro at what he did. But because of pro wrestling, I don't think I would ever got back to comedy. Because it was just such a crazy experience. You had to like focus on other techniques other than just the in-ring techniques. They're just how to conduct yourself in the locker room, how to conduct yourself with other pro wrestlers. Because it's the same principles like what Sarah was talking about on Facebook the other day, where you don't want to be an asshole backstage. And it's the same thing. It's legit the same thing.
What got you started doing that in Albuquerque, though? Like, how did you get started?
So this guy named Ocean Avery, he started doing jiu-jitsu classes, and he was a big dude, and he had a New Japan Pro Wrestling t-shirt. And I was like, oh, you're a fan? And he goes, no, I'm actually a pro wrestler. And I was like, oh, shit, awesome. So then I got to know him, and I was signing him up for jiu-jitsu classes, and I was just like, yeah, I've always wanted to do it, but like I felt like I'm too small for it. And he's like, no, actually, my coach is your size. And I was like, oh, shit. And he's like, yeah, dude, try it out. So then I did, and bro, I puked. Like, and I was like, yeah, I'm in shape. You know, I just competed in Sacramento. I don't care. Like, I can do it. I couldn't, bro. I just doing bumps for like an hour straight, and then you're running the ropes. Dude, it was such a different beast. But then I got hooked, and I was just like, it was such a awesome combination of art and athleticism, because it keeps you in shape, but then you can be creative at the same time. It is redneck theater. Like, it legit is redneck theater.
You ever seen the South Park where they're doing the pro wrestling in their backyard?
Yeah, that's gay.
But Cartman, his character is a chick that's addicted to abortions.
Yeah.
I just love having abortions. I might have another one right now, God damn it. I'm going to have an abortion. I love having abortions.
I fucking love that episode,
So
dude.
horrible.
That's so terrible.
That's not wrestling. This is wrestling. Sir, I'm going to need you to take you and your gay porn and get out of this bar right now.
Fuck, dude. Almost spit my beer. Yeah. Dude, that's such a classic episode. South Park never misses.
It's good. I haven't seen the newer stuff. I watched the new seasons, but I haven't seen like the hour-long episodes they've been doing because they lock them behind Paramount Plus, and I'm not paying for Paramount Plus, and I'm too lazy to pirate again.
Not worth it.
Yeah, not worth it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you get where do you train at, or where did you train at in Albuquerque? Because you don't see shit for like sign up to try pro wrestling. Like, that's not a thing.
It's with Gino Rivera. It's called Off the Ropes, and we used to train at this other wrestler's backyard. So you're training under the sun. Yeah, you're training under the sun. But now it's in his backyard.
So who the fuck, what booker is going to these backyards and being like, hey, they're training pro wrestling back here, like a bunch of Nimrods. Let's get them on a show. Because we have like Duke City Pro Wrestling. Like, I see that Chris Burnett, the guy who hosts
10 Drink Minimum.
Yeah, 10 Drink. He'll do like announcing or commentary or some shit.
Commentary.
Yeah. So how do people get booked for shit like that?
So because Gino had such a great reputation in the Southwest circuit, he will be the one that would vouch for you to get into shows. So he's like big on paying your dues, where you work like bodyguard, or you set up the ring, you tear down the ring after the show, and promoters like seeing that. So with that comes networking. With networking, you get booked. That's really how it is over there.
That makes sense.
And with Duke City Championship Wrestling, it's cool that they kind of revamped, and they kind of like started the whole pro wrestling thing, because now you have another pro wrestling league that just started too, in Rio Rancho. I forgot what they were called. But like, yeah, it's coming back here.
I saw they're doing the midget stuff again, like for real. They're doing a lot of midget stuff here. Like
That set that you did makes me laugh because did you know I almost got booked for one of the the midget wrestling?
You know what's fucking hilarious, dude? Okay, so so when we were talking about when I was workshopping that bit on my own, and then at Dry Heat at the writing circle for a little bit, and this comic from Denver, Brian Sullivan, he was helping me out with it. And Brian is the one who came up with the term micromania.
That's funny.
And I didn't know that was even a thing. So then I see a flyer that says micromania, and I'm like, oh my God, these people, what the fuck is going on? Because how tall are you?
I'm 5'4".
Okay, that's not midget, though.
No, but I would have been a super heavyweight. I would have been like the Big Show.
Come to the stage, it's the show. It's just the show.
Just tossing.
That's so fucking stupid.
Dude, it's art.
So, did you ever get to perform with like Duke City or anything like that?
No. I mean...
So how long did you do pro wrestling for?
For like a few months. But I did wrestle Hobo Hank. You don't know who Hobo Hank is?
Who the fuck is Hobo Hank?
He's Albuquerque's legend. Dude, they did a documentary on him on Vice.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait.
The Chili's manager by night.
Wait, is this the homeless dude that doesn't have a shirt and he's like super like leathery and he's skinny like with blonde hair?
Oh, no. That's another hobo.
Because I see his picture floating around. Who the fuck is Hobo Hank?
Hobo Hank, dude, you should check it out on Vice. It was a documentary. He's like an Albuquerque legend. He's been wrestling since the 90s, I think, or late 80s.
Hobo Hank?
Yeah. He's actually, I think, the main guy at Duke City.
Oh, yeah. What the fuck? Yeah, he like went on 10 Drink Minimum as a podcast? What the shit?
Yeah. You should have him on this show.
No, I think I'll pass. It's all right. I'm sure he's doing great things on his own. What the fuck am I looking at?
Dude, so when we were like calling our match, right? I'm like a nervous wreck. And I was like, and I'm repeating the match to him, right? And he would be like smoking a cigarette. He's like, yeah, that sounds good. And I was like, cool. And then he goes, do you need to repeat it again just so you can remember? I was like, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, sounds good. And I was like, man. But dude, we tore the house down, bro. I was the heel. He was the baby face. And he was such a professional. Like, he just remembers things like that. Yeah. He's such a vet. So, like, the fact that
the homeless guy's a veteran. Yeah. Shock. What a fucking shock.
Yeah.
And you're questioning my Trump poster on the wall? That's why I have it, you piece of shit. Oh, that's what I wanted to say in the beginning. Okay. So, yeah, people can't see it on camera, but that fucking now what is, I think, been declared as the hardest picture ever is, so there's a very viral picture of Trump, and it's after he got shot in the ear, and he's standing up and he's raising his fists in the air, and there's the 3 Secret Service agents trying to get him, and the American flag is behind him. There's blood going down his face. I saw that and I was like, I'm putting that in the studio. That's fucking... And dude, that is some of the best $30 I've ever spent.
$30?
$30 at Walgreens, dude.
Are you going to get the Hulk Hogan ripping his shirt with the Trump Vans?
No, because that's fucking gay. That's just fucking gay.
I was legit. I just got out of work and I saw that and I was like, what the fuck's going on here?
Well, because they had like, I think the last day of the RNCs when they had a bunch of like celebrities pop in. So they had like Hulk Hogan showed up, Ruby, whoever, the bald chick showed up. I forget her last name. I think her first
Rose?
Ruby. Yeah, I think so. Ruby.
Amber
I think yeah. She showed up, and then Dana White showed up, and he went hard as fuck. Did you see that speech?
No, I didn't.
He's like, I'm not telling you who to vote for, but all I know is Donald Trump is the He was up there for maybe 45 seconds, from what I saw.
Damn.
Just from what I saw. He just fucking, yeah, he cut a promo on Trump. And then, dude, You should really, and anybody who's listening to this, should really watch Trump's speech at the RNC from like yesterday or the day before. Because he gets up there and this dude, like, you could tell it affected him a bit, you know. But he gets up there and he goes, it is what we all know now. And what's very apparent and it's very clear what happened. And I'm going to tell you what happened. It was a warm, beautiful day that was ended so poorly. I was giving a great speech, a great rally. Wow, what a great rally.
Maybe the best ever.
Yeah, no, I'm not even making this shit up. Like, that's the cadence of which he overly described how great the rally was. And he goes, as I turned my head to point to an amazing graph that I had put together to show how bad the immigration is so bad under Biden. And out of nowhere, I felt a sharp, hot pain. And I grabbed my ear and I knew it was. And I'll tell you what it was. It was a bullet. And I'm watching this and it's like the speech cemented to me and made it very clear about like how this guy's brain works. And that's just how he speaks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is just how he speaks. It's his cadence. He's fucking, what, 74 or 75 years old. It's never going away.
Yeah.
But that's just how the guy speaks. And you could tell that he was, like, not fucking happy about getting shot. You could tell he was fucking affected by it. But, like, just in the way he's, like, over-explaining and over-describing what happened, I was watching it and I felt bad for laughing. It's like, yeah, it was a bullet, Don. Like, obviously.
Dude, every time I hear him speak, I cannot just think about Shane Gillis.
Okay, that's the other thing, too.
Yeah.
is I've watched that fucking Kill Tony episode twice now.
It's so funny.
And I'm watching that, just imagining Gillis, and I'm like, fuck, this is bad. Like, the former president almost got killed. Like, I shouldn't be fucking laughing at his description of his own assassination attempt.
Fuck, dude.
But
it was perfect timing, even though it was filmed like weeks ago.
well, apparently, it was filmed. So they put on the description. It was filmed the week before.
Yeah.
So they normally release them 2 to 3 weeks after they're filmed, but I guess they had filmed it the week before, and then it happened, and they're like, "Oh no, we need to rearrange these episodes. This needs to come out now." Yeah. Well, then now, dude, like the fucking thing, it's at something like last time I looked at it, it was at something crazy of like 4 point something million. Now it's at 9.2.
Jesus
In
Christ.
4 days, it is almost at 10 million fucking views. Like that's insane.
Dude, it was just so good. And like Adam Ray's impression of Biden was...
He's great.
Oh, dude, it was so good. I loved it.
He's great.
Yeah.
What is, as far as stand-up goes, like what is... So how long have you been doing it consecutively now?
Consecutively, to tell you the truth, I think like if I was to put the years that I took the break and stuff like that, I've probably been doing it like consistently for like 5 years.
But I'm talking like since the break ended.
Oh, now?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first show that I started in December 20th, 2023.
Okay. So about
like
7 months or so? Okay.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, almost 7 months to the day, right? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
It's the 20th. So, yeah, so 7 months, 8 months to the day?
Yeah.
I'm fucking terrible at math. 8 months to the day. Yeah, this is December into, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's keeping you going? Like, what has made you want? You've already talked about how like you enjoy the craft of it. You enjoy. Like, do you have a path? Do you have a plan for all this? Is it kind of fly by night? Like, what do you see for all this?
Right now I'm having fun. That's really how I'm looking at it. I'm having fun, but I am looking at it as a business, and like the business plan is to make my income that. I don't plan on being rich. You know what I mean? I just want to at least be a comfortable living doing what I love. And that takes time, that takes skill, that takes like practice and repetition. So really my like pathway is just I want to have fun and doing the life I love. And I don't really want to consider like I don't want to think too much about the outcome. But sooner or later I want it to replace my income.
That makes sense. Are you like applying for festivals? Are you
Yeah.
planning on trying to go out and even just like it sounds silly, but like going to another city and like trying open mics there and meeting people? Like, are you trying to plan all that kind of stuff? Like, what does that look like for you?
So I'm planning on going to Denver next month and spend a couple weeks there. I'm in talks of doing a show there. I don't want to say yet.
Cool.
But
No,
it's one of like on my bucket like checklist on things I want to do to get on that show.
Have you signed up for New Faces?
Dude, I tried to get onto that new talent stuff, but I don't know where to go exactly.
So I haven't looked into it myself, but allegedly what you do is you go. So they hold it at the Comedy Fort, right? Or is it Works?
It's Comedy Works.
Comedy Works. Okay. I know there's the Fort up there too.
Yeah.
But so they hold it at Comedy Works. Okay, so I guess you go to their website or you email them or some shit, and you basically give them like an EPK, and you're like, hey, again, I've done this myself. This is what I've been told. You just go like, hey, like, this is who I am. I'm a stand-up comedian. Here's my fucking stuff. And they put you onto a list of people, and the average turnaround time of getting picked for it is like 4 to 6 months. And then they turn around and they let you know, like, hey, yeah, we're going to put you on for New Talent Night. They hold on like on Mondays or Tuesdays or some shit.
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Tuesday? Okay. Yeah, we'll put you on this Tuesday at this time. And then you go from there and you see what happens. The biggest pain in the ass about it, from what I've been told, is just the waiting period.
Yeah.
But.
And it's like, I know they said, like, hey, you need to join the Facebook group to New Talent Night just so you can be, like, picked. But, like, every time I try to get into that group, they don't accept me in. So I'm like, what's going on?
Let's see.
Because that's what I read on the website.
New Talent Night. All right. Comedy Works New Talent Night. Okay. We are on their Facebook page. Okay, so visit the website and create an account. Register for shows on the show calendar. Review the rules and the frequently asked questions. And there's only 2,000 members.
Yeah. That's the weird part.
Interesting. Well, I look at that and I'm like, well, if this page has been up for 16 years, let's try and join it and see what happens. Do I live in Colorado? No. Am I a comedian? Yes, kinda. In a few words, I know what I am, dude. I'm not overly concerned about that. Yeah. In a few words, please tell why you are looking to join the New Talent Night Facebook group. Answers with links, social media, or contact info will be automatically declined. Why do I want to join the Facebook group? Because my life is dope. And I do dope shit. Kanye West.
That's my president.
That's my favorite Kanye West quote ever. Yeah. My life is dope and I do dope shit. What a fucking fall off of a career that guy had.
I know, dude. It sucks.
Well, I wouldn't even say fall off because Vultures did crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But like, he did like one of the only things that the industry tells you you're not allowed to do, and that's remotely align yourself with Hitler.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't do that. No. Morally speaking, that's a very bad decision.
It sucks because he was like my favorite rapper growing up.
He still is.
Yeah.
I just got to be honest. He's one of my favorites still. That's never going to change. But, however, he fucking goes up, does his thing. He makes Alex Jones look sane.
Yeah, I know. He was sweating bullets.
He's like, well, maybe you're saying like you like the uniforms, or you like the you like the strategy, but you don't like the execution. Like, no, I think that I understand Hitler. Yeah. I understand why he acted the way he did. I've been in this industry and I get it, Alex. Well, maybe.
You don't mean that.
Yeah. So then, he freaks out, has that public meltdown or whatever, and then turns around and knocks out a fucking banger of an album.
It was a banger.
And everyone's like, all right. It was like 60 years ago. I think we can let it go.
Like, imagine having an album that goes so hard that it makes you uncancelable.
Well, that's what. Because, like, they dropped. So, what was it? Like, Adidas or some shit had dropped him, right? Yeah. and he lost he didn't actually lose $2 billion. I think he lost a projected, like, altogether from like the money he had to pay back and then what he could have made over the span of however long. I think it would have been $2 billion or something like that. So that's understandable, and that's nothing to shake a stick at. That's crazy. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But the fact he lost all that and was like, nah, I'm still gonna walk around completely clothed and have my woman butt naked in public. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Like, it makes no sense to me.
Dude, he's wearing kick pads, like Venom kick pads from Amazon.
Like that.
With socks.
That dude is either he is absolutely losing it privately.
Yeah.
Or that guy is just unfazable.
Dude, every time... So my wife would always come up with like news articles about like the shit that Kanye's been doing to his employees lately, right?
What?
Yeah, dude. Like, he's been like sending them porn. Yeah. And like his employees are suing him for harassment. And then, you know what's the worst part? So I like, every time my wife tells me like new news about it, I would always try to find a way to defend it just to mess with her. Because I'm like,
what, a couple guys in the break room can't just fucking swap videos?
I'm like, they sound ungrateful.
I want to know what porn Kanye jerks off to.
Well, I know, because
That's
now he's starting his own
crazy.
porn like site.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that he can talk that much shit about Jewish people and then turn around and start a porn company?
Yeah. I wish this was a bit.
Do we see the hypocrisy in that fucking... People who don't know, a lot of the major porn companies are ran by Jewish people. There is a shocking amount of Jewish people in the porn industry.
Yeah.
They are not the minorities there.
No.
That's all I'm saying. Like, if there's one industry where they are not, it's unfortunately the porn industry.
And Hollywood.
And well,
Yeah, it is part of Hollywood.
Which are starting to,
Yeah.
he's starting his own. No, he's not. Wait. I know what you're talking about.
Isn't he?
It was a PR stunt. No. It was a PR stunt for a new shoe drop. No. Yeah. It was a PR stunt for a new shoe drop because that got put in one of the group chats that I'm in. And one of my buddies was like, what the fuck is going on with Kanye West? And we looked into it more, and like 2 days passed, and it was like a new shoe.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was a stunt.
All right.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. No, I know that's wrong.
Is
Give me a second.
Steve-O's boob job going to be a stunt?
No, I believe he does that, but I also believe that because what people aren't focusing about that is, okay, it's stupid. Okay, it's dumb as fuck that he's doing that for sure. But he was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and and maybe this just I need to throw a dip in. Give me a second.
Yeah, go for it.
So
he's getting riled up, guys.
yeah, well, maybe this just shows the childlike nature, I guess, of Steve-O and just the way his brain works. So obviously, he's done a copious amount of substances.
Yeah.
But in the statement where he's talking about it, I don't know if it was on a podcast or an interview or whatever, but he was like, yeah, I already ran it by Knoxville, and who's the guy that directs them all?
Oh, I don't...
The main guy that directs all the Jackass movies.
I forgot his name.
It is going to bother me because I love Jackass. Jeff Tremaine.
Oh, yeah.
So he goes, yeah, I've already ran it by Knoxville and Tremaine. They think it's hilarious. We're going to do it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, first of all, if... Let me finish the statement, because he goes, they think it's hilarious, and they love the idea of it. There's a lot of comedy to come out of it. Comedy is situational, da-da-da-da. And then he goes, but this is what people aren't focusing on, is he goes, I'm only going to have them for like 4 to 5 months and then get them removed and have the proper surgery to fix my skin and all that kind of stuff. Where it's like, okay, first of all, you are putting a lot of trust in the American health system. I get that you're a bajillionaire, but you are putting a lot of trust in these doctors, first of all. Second of all, look... If my buddy, any of my friends proposed that to me and they were serious and they were like, hey, I'm going to get a double D boob job, but then 4 to 5 months later, I'm going to get it reversed, of course I would support that. Like, yeah,
absolutely.
That is so stupid, and I'm excited for you to fuck your life up. That is ridiculous. Yeah. Absolutely stupid.
Absolutely.
That's like...
Absolutely.
That's like the most like... trying to figure out a way to word this is not as hatred. Like, just not just putrid, vile. That is, like, the most, like, non-committant trans surgery I've ever heard of.
Oh, my God.
You know what I mean? But I'm going to get tits. I'm going to keep my dick, like most of them do. But I'm going to get my boobs removed afterwards. Like, but then it's like, what if he gets really nice boobs?
Yeah. I don't think he's going to get rid of them.
I think he does.
Nah.
Well, no, I think he does because I think he does it, but I think he does get rid of him because of his fan base. His fan base are mostly Republicans. Let's be honest. The people that love Steve-O grew up on Jackass, right? And because it's weird now, just because of like what he's doing publicly. If you, I would imagine that if you're gonna ask a teenager who is Steve-O, they would give you one of two answers, maybe both. He's a podcaster, or he's a prankster, right? But they don't really understand why he's a prankster or like how he got the start, because he was never really a prank guy. He's a stunt guy.
Yeah.
But I've just seen that attached to him. Like, oh yeah, he's a prank guy. Like, no. It's much worse than that.
Yeah, it's much worse than that.
He is really brutalized. Like, I remember, I think it's in, I can't remember if it's in the Jackass TV show, but, or if it's like the extended version of the second movie. But where they're in the sushi restaurant and he snorts a whole thing of wasabi.
I think that was the movie.
That was the movie, right?
Yeah.
Fucking it.
Oh, dude. Oh.
No.
No, he was a...
I went and watched Jackass 4 in theaters. Bro.
I haven't watched it.
You haven't seen Jackass 4? You should watch it, dude.
I want to.
You should watch it. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
You should
I
watch
will.
it. It's there's the one guy, Danger Aaron. That dude is never gonna have kids. They brutalize that man's balls. Well, he takes a fucking punch from Ngannou.
Yeah. Oh, shit, really? Fuck. Dude, it just, I don't know. Ever since, like, Ryan Dunn died, I was just like, oh, I don't want to watch it, man. Because it just makes me sad.
No, I agree with that. I remember the day he died, dude.
Me too. And then, like, I'm a huge Bam Margera fan, and then seeing his downhill, I'm like, ugh.
Well, allegedly he's pulling his shit back together.
I hope so.
Allegedly he's pulling it back together. It seems like he has the little things that I see on social media. And then the comic I brought up earlier, Brian Sullivan, he had actually met him. Or no, it wasn't Brian. It was Zach. I think.
A beta?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, it was Zach. Because Zach had went out to Austin sometime last year. And he had did a show with this other comedian, really nice guy, Maverick. They had done a show at the Black Rifle Coffee Company's like compound.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, did a stand-up show there, and Bam Margera was there.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
apparently Bam Margera was like healthy, and he was skateboarding around. And I guess Zach, I got to talk to him for a little bit. And he's like, "Hey, man, just really cool to see you skateboarding again."
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's sick.
yeah.
Dude.
But it's sad when you see, because you'd imagine like those guys, with the amount of damage, like just like pro wrestlers, right? You hear about this all the time. With the amount of damage they put on their body, it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone ever about the pain pill addiction.
Yeah.
Like, it's a genuine, like, like, 'cause I am, like, personally speaking, I think humans should be left to their devices. You know what I mean? I really think they should be left to do it like adults, like grown adults. And personally, if I was president, I would raise the legal age, and because I don't think 18's good to be a legal adult.
No, not at all, dude.
You know what? It's almost it's been a running joke for, however long, about how dumb 18-year-olds are.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Like,
I would stupid.
Like, if I was I was an idiot. I still am an idiot.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? Like, I would raise the legal age to like 21 or 22, maybe even 23. Mm-hmm. And But I'm also like, again, if you're of legal age, you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want. Like, as long as you're not hurting other people.
Yeah. I agree.
Do what the fuck you want. So, example being, I think that drugs should be, at a bare minimum, all drugs should be decriminalized.
I agree.
And, and because people are going to, like...
They're going to do it.
They're going to do it anyway. If they want to do it, they're going to do it. Especially, like, right now with how bad the drug problem is in America, they're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you and I can walk outside right now and we can find fentanyl in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If we really wanted to, I know we could.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that's not because we know bad people. It's just because we could just drive 5 minutes down that way, stop at the homeless way. Hey, I got $20. Who's got blues?
Or just wait for AJ to get here. We'll get
it. He might be a stoner. However, he is my friend. No, he's a cool guy. But no, you know what I mean? Like, we can go find fentanyl, meth, heroin, whatever. We can go do that.
Yeah.
That's easy. It's very simple. So, like, if they legalized all drugs tomorrow and you were able to buy crack or buy coke or buy heroin or meth, I'm not going to go buy heroin. I know what that does to people's lives. I'm sure the high is amazing.
Yeah,
but the risk is not the... No, it's supposed to be honest, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason it's so addictive.
Yeah, because it must feel fucking phenomenal. Like, and it's...
But I'm never going to go do it.
No.
So, in that same turn, like... Oh, my... Where was I going with this? People are going to do that shit anyway. And I think with the legalization of stuff, I think you can really start bringing down, like... And they'll never legalize marijuana for obvious reasons. That takes out a bite of the huge chunk of the pharmaceutical industrial complex. But if they legalize all these drugs and they figure things out, you can phase out pain pills. And obviously they're not going to do that because they want pain pills so that they can make the money. But I'd imagine that there's things like stem cells and like weed, stem cells, psychedelics, something that can help with pain.
Yeah.
Maybe not psychedelics, but it's definitely stem cells.
I do love psychedelics.
And stem cells and like peptides and shit, like TRT.
Yeah.
That can help with pain.
Yeah, absolutely.
That can help with repairing the body. You don't, like, people, and I get it, but like, there's this stigma with steroids where it's like you take them, you're going to turn into fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're going to turn into these monsters like fucking Phil Heath or whatever.
I wish.
And you're not, yeah. Like, I technically used to be on but I was just on TRT.
Yeah.
I was on a low dosage. I wish I was still on it. And it helped me out a lot.
I bet.
A lot. Because I was cruising, like, I don't know how much you know about, like, what your test level should be at. But I was cruising at fucking 185, 175.
No shit.
Incredibly low. Yeah. That's the levels of a 75-year-old, 65-year-old. That's Joe Biden levels. It's not good. Like, legit. Like, but then I got on tests, and thankfully, because, there's also that thing, and it's usually true, where it's like you get on tests and you can't get off it. You have to keep doing it. But now I'm just cruising at like 520, 550, and it's not great. Yeah, I'd like to be back at 800 like I used to be.
It's way better than where you were, though.
But it's way, exactly. It helped me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and again, I get why it's not going to happen. Because things are corrupt and people want to make money. But I mean, Jesus, man, like, what is it? We've lost more people now to, like, specifically, like, I think it's pain pill overdoses, and I guess fentanyl is a pain medication, but, like, to that and fentanyl, we've lost more people to those overdoses than American deaths in World War II.
Yeah. My dad was actually addicted to pain pills, and what's crazy is that he overdosed a couple of times.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but, thankfully he's 7 years sober now.
Good. He got sober after all that? Good for him.
Yeah.
And I say that with such surprise, to be completely honest with you, because, I mean, as you well know, people don't get sober after that. They die.
No, yeah.
They die.
He served over 20 years in the military, too, so, like, his body was always in pain.
Yeah.
But, like, I had a friend, and this was actually my closer in my headlining set, who actually died from a drug overdose. And he was actually clean when we were hanging out when I was still in Puerto Rico. But when I left, Hurricane Maria happened, but he got arrested for just $5 worth of weed over there. so he couldn't leave the island when there was no electricity, no water.
Oh, Jesus.
So he got back into drugs, and then like
Yeah.
he died from a drug overdose. But I ended it with like, at least he died doing what he loved. So you gotta live life to the fullest, man.
Jesus. Did Santa Fe laugh at that?
Yeah, they loved it.
Good.
They clapped.
Good.
It was like clapping.
Good. Well, that's like, well, that's one of the things that I love most about stand-up comedy is there are comedians that can, because I'm nowhere near this. Just because I don't know how to handle it, right? I don't know how to tackle it properly without just complaining on stage.
Yeah.
Because I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
I hate the fucking...
Rambling.
No, not even rambling. I can deal with rambling.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's every Wednesday night at Red Door.
Yeah.
I've made this joke before. I'm not going to say who, but I tell people I go to Red Door when I can on Wednesday night so I can get my daily dose of this comedian and watch. I love watching them ramble. However, and that's not a slight to them. It's genuinely entertaining. But when a comedian can take extremely dark parts of their life and turn it into a bit and turn it into a story that you can talk about and you can laugh about, make other people laugh. Because obviously, like, you talking about it, like, okay, here's an example, right? So, my dad kicked the shit out of me, right? If I just go on stage and I make fun of people getting beat by their parents, not good.
Yeah.
Probably not going to work out. Yeah. Unless it's like a slight little tag that I work into a bit. I've been on stage killing for 15 minutes and I've earned the audience and all that. Okay, probably not going to work. Probably not going to work out for me very well. However, if I figure out, that's a thing you tackle deep into a set, but if I figure out a way to talk about my experience, make it known that it's my experience, and I figure out a way and I weave in a story and I can laugh about it and make good light of it, then the audiences, they know subconsciously that I'm allowed to laugh at this guy's pain because he's telling us about it in a comedic format.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's almost that element of relatability, too. Because you can make fun of the subject if you tell your story first.
Well, it's that. It's extreme vulnerability. Mm-hmm. I would even say, I would say that's more important, actually, the relatability of it, because there's people in the audience, unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, there are people in that audience that have but dealt with that shit too.
Yeah.
Or seen that or whatever, experienced it in their own life. So, yeah, he's saying or she's saying everything that I've wanted to. So it's that type of thing. It's like that deep kind of catharsis.
Yeah.
Where it's like, and that's why political humor usually works. I'm still mad about it. Dude, I was like angry I had never experienced that before.
Really?
I was like angry. Not after the set, like when I gotten home. And I told my chick that. I was like, we were having a conversation and she had stopped so I could speak, like respond to what she was saying. And I was like, listen, I want to make this very clear to you. I'm listening to everything you're saying. I'm in this conversation right now. But I have this, like, weird anger building up in me, and I don't understand it.
I get it.
I don't understand it. But we finished the conversation and talked about everything else. But, like, yeah. Anyway, political, I got angry after that. So I was like, why the fuck this didn't work? Like, why is this not whatever? And I started reviewing the footage, and I was like, okay, here's why, and all that. But that's why political humor works so well, usually, because people are able to... people are able to listen to somebody speak and they're saying everything they've wanted to about the subject and stuff like that. So
it's hard though too, because like you don't know everyone's political views too. I feel like that's the hard part.
Here's my argument about that. Here's my viewpoint on that.
Yeah.
So people on the far left or the far right that are like so entrenched on how they believe and they have like blinders on. Those people exist. We see that.
Yeah.
You're not going to convince them. So don't even worry about it. And the positive side of that is there aren't that many of those people anyway, let alone those amount of people going to a comedy show. Typically.
Yeah.
They'll be there every now and again. But don't even worry about that. They're not going to laugh at your shit anyway if it's political. So don't even worry about it if you're going to do political stuff. Yeah. But and this is the challenge on me because I need to be a better writer and have more experience. But if you have these people like, yeah, I'm Republican, I'm Democrat, I'm whatever, if you are able to craft a good enough bit and you're able to deliver that bit properly, then it's like, oh, yeah, I like Trump or I like Biden, but he's got a point. She's got a point. That's funny. And there's a lot to laugh at with both of them.
Yeah. That's a good perspective. I like that.
I hate the saying that's a bad crowd.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Well, because it's like if you kill it, you killed it. But if you don't get the laugh, it was a tough crowd.
Right.
And you don't get the full responsibility of it.
Exactly. I was exactly going to say that. You remove all the responsibility of you didn't perform well. Mm-hmm. You made the wrong decisions.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, now granted, it's a different ball game because there's like inherent, if you see a famous comedian, there's obviously an inherent star power. But we've even seen that where like famous comedians can infamously bomb on stage and they can lose it like that because they're like, oh, they just weren't funny for these people.
Yeah.
And like that can happen. But removing that extra challenge, like, okay, here's a good example. So Jim Jeffries, when he came to Dry Heat, he went up, he did really well, cracked. Most people are probably thinking, that's the best the show's ever going to be. There's nobody else that can top that. What the fuck was that? Da, da, da. Jared Osborne walks on stage and fucking kills. Now, you could argue, oh, he's just riding the wave of Jim Jeffries. He did it. It's like, or maybe he followed one of the best working comedians today and still did well.
What a flex. For real, dude. No,
I don't know.
It's awesome because I like seeing good people do good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Jared, I haven't really seen his set yet, and I want to see it. I'm going to try to swing by tonight to watch him perform. But, like, he's always been such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Even though he's probably one of the roast masters in Albuquerque.
He is somebody that I want to go against, but I know I need to get better.
Yeah.
I want to take down that dragon, but I got to level up.
It's like that, what we were talking about earlier with, like, the set. You have to level up before the set.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Where can everyone find you on social media?
At the Gian Hernandez on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook as well. And yeah, on Threads, even though I barely post on there. I don't know. Yeah, but I'm going to put out more reels out there. Catch me on the shows. I'm going to be... it hasn't probably be announced later, but AJ and the Homies, August 9th, I'll also in Albuquerque, August 10th in Albuquerque again, and I think at the Box for like a cabaret thing.
Cool.
I won't be performing in the cabaret. I'll be doing stand-up comedy. And then for now, all I got for booked is in September 7th as well at Belen. I'll be performing with Zach Abeda, Brian Sullivan. It's going to be a great time.
I'll be there for that.
Hell yeah.
This will be sick.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for doing this, man. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody. Fuck yeah.